Hey guys, so I am going to be talking a little bit about today with today's work about heart rate. Heart rate is your heart beating and moving around blood. So your muscles, your tissues, your other organs, they need blood constantly throughout the day. And the organ that moves the blood is the circulatory system, or what's called the heart, right? The heart is about the size of your fist. When you get older, it's about the size of your fist with your hand on top of the fist. So your heart does grow as you get older, and it does grow in size. So what I will do is I will play this video. I'll stop it once or twice to offer some more explanation, but overall, we're just going to let this video play and run.
Well, heart rate is the number of times your heart beats in a minute. It is measured in BPM, or beats per minute. A healthy, normal resting heart rate is usually between 60 and 80 beats per minute. The resting heart rate of a woman is usually about 10 beats more per minute than that of a man in the same age range. And elite athletes can have a resting heart rate as low as 40 beats per minute.
So beats per minute means if you were to count the number of beats or pulses that you would feel, it would be the amount of pulses in 1 minute. However, I taught you yesterday how to take your heart rate, which is 2 fingers behind your jawbone, and feeling for the pulse or the beating. You would then count the number of beats in 6 seconds and then add a 0 behind it. Okay? So if I had 6 beats in 6 seconds, then it wouldn't just be 6 beats per minute. No, it would actually be 60 because you're adding a 0. Instead of counting for 1 minute, it's a little math hack to not waste as much time and count the number of all the beats in a minute. So this is a pretty easy equation. So you're going to count the number of beats that you feel in 6 seconds and then add a 0. Pretty easy to do. We're going to keep going.
This is because individuals that are fit have a larger stroke volume of the heart. Stroke volume is the amount of blood ejected from the heart per beat. So the heart of someone who is really fit does not need to beat as many times to have the same output of blood as an unfit person.
So when you exercise, you make this muscle right here, this heart muscle, much stronger. Okay, you make it much stronger. Now, when it's stronger, it can push more blood out of the heart. It can circulate the blood faster, and it doesn't take as many beats to do the job. So your heart is more stronger, and it's more what's called efficient. Efficient means it doesn't take as many beats to do the job. It's like taking a pro versus a normal person when it comes to exercise. Their hearts can be stronger, and it's going to take them less beats to get the job done, and they won't be as tired as easy.
Another thing that has a major effect on heart rate is stress. During stressful situations, the body releases the hormone adrenaline, which causes an increase in heart rate, which is beneficial when you're in danger, but unhealthy in everyday situations. When you're sitting and resting, your heartbeat will be lower, and as you start to move around, your heartbeat will increase. When you exercise, your heart rate will vary, depending on the intensity of the exercise, your age, the position your body is in, standing versus lying down, your current fitness level, the type of exercise you are performing, and the temperature and humidity that you're in.
When you are exercising and it's really hot outside, there's a reason why people tell you to take it easier on hot days. When you're exercising, your body is sweating more and it's working harder to cool down your body. Humans really only like to be in the temperature range of 97 degrees and 98 degrees. We don't like to be any colder than 97. We don't like to be any hotter than 98. Okay. If we're in the 99s or even the hundreds, that's considered a fever. So when you exercise, it's important, especially if you're running or biking or playing a game outside, it's better to take it easy because your body's working really hard to cool itself down.
Medications can also have a dramatic effect on heart rate. As we get older, our maximum attainable heart rate decreases. There is a simple equation that is used to estimate a person's heart rate max, 220 minus your age. So for instance, for a 35-year-old person, the equation would be 220 minus 35.
So to find your heart rate, you're going to take 220, and minus your age. I know a lot of you are 11, right? So when you minus that, you're actually going to be at 209. Okay, you're going to be at 209. So you're going to borrow from here, make that a 1. You make this a 10. And then you continue the problem. 10 minus 1 is 9. 1 minus 1 is 0. And then your answer, if you're 11 years old, is 209. Okay? So that's the maximum amount of beats that your heart can beat to. And it's really hard to get your heart rate that high unless you're doing really intense exercise like the pacer test or something. So we'll kind of move on from there for just a second. So the max heart rate equation is 220, and then that's when you're born. Your max heart rate is 220 minus your current age. Okay. All right, let's continue.
Which equals 185. So their max heart rate should be somewhere around 185 beats per minute. That would be at full physical exertion, like sprinting all out. There is some margin of error for estimating heart rate max, so this number will give you a general idea. There are many training devices that will gauge your heart rate throughout your day and exercise sessions, or you can do it the old-fashioned way. Put the tips of your fingers on the blood vessel on the thumb side of your wrist. Use a timer on your phone and count the number of beats for 10 seconds.
So for this one, we'll stop here. You're going to actually count and listen or feel for 6 seconds, and then you're going to add a 0. This one, they talk about timesing it by, 6, but it's much easier just to add a 0 and do it that way. But there's devices out there like my smartwatch here that can give heart rate and whatnot too. So that's actually, a pretty easy device to take your heart rate. But this person here is doing what's called a radial heart rate. I taught you how to check with the carotid artery, which is right here. You just got to press down and feel. Okay, so count for 6, add a 0. Now, that's the last part of the video here. However, you also have a worksheet as well to do. So please use this information, this video, to help answer your questions on the worksheet. Thank you.